What's up, guys? Welcome to Bipolar Boxing. Let's do a preview for Zurdo Ramirez versus David Benavidez for I forget what belt Zurdo holds up at cruiserweight, but it'll be for his belt. And hopefully after this fight we can get a unification with the winner of this fight and Opataya. We'll see how that goes with the whole Zuffa thing. But this is an awesome fight. I mean, poor Benavidez. I'm late onto the Benavidez bandwagon as far as I never really put him up there with the elite when it was right after the David Lemieux fight, like about a year had been going on before that fight that Canelo's ducking this guy, and I was like, who the hell has he fought? The guy beat Andre Durrell, Jesse Hart. Like he never separated himself, in my opinion. I know he's better than Jaime Munguia. I know he's better than Caleb Plant. But in my opinion, up until that point, he never really separated himself. He probably deserved a chance anyways. But I was one of the people defending Canelo in that until Benavidez fights those other guys. Like all those other guys, none of them fought each other. Caleb Plant, Jaime Munguia, Benavidez, Demetrius Andrade. I know he just kind of came up in weight there, but like all those guys, like you can't really cry that Canelo's not fighting you. The easy way that to push those other guys off is to fight them. But I got a little bit smarter over the last couple of years, and I realized those guys probably didn't want to fight David Benavidez. So that's probably why those fight didn't happen. I know there's no way Jaime Munguia was gonna fight David Benavidez if he knew he can get a shot at Canelo. Same thing with Caleb Plant. Like I don't blame any of them for doing what they did, but uh David Benavidez got kind of a raw deal at 168. You know, he gets pissed off at Canelo. Says, fuck it, I'll move up. He moves up to light heavyweight, and then Bivol and Better Be Off, just held up the division there because they fought each other twice. And Bivol now, like they're both kind of on a break. I don't even know if Beterbiev's fighting anymore, but they're both kind of on a break, and Bivol just gave up his belt to not fight Benavidez. So the poor guy, like he wants. I really believe Benavidez is one of the few guys in the sport that wants to prove himself by beating the best because he has that much confidence in himself. So I am a big David Benavidez fan now. And Zurdo Ramirez, I've been a big fan of him his whole career. I remember, I think when he fought, I want to say he beat Joe Smith, and the odds were pretty good on Zurdo, and I was like, Zurdo's gonna destroy this guy. And so since Zurdo's been moving up in weight, he's been looking good. He beat a few ex champions at cruiserweight. Like he had that one loss against Bivol and he got smoked. But I mean, I think a lot of that is like a style matchup, and he's not on the level as Bivol, but like no one really is at that weight class. So it's not the worst thing to lose Bivol like that. But he's looked great ever since, and he's going up in weight later on in his career, which he probably needs to do. So he's 34 years old. He has his last two wins have been great wins. Chris Billum Smith, Yornel Dorticos, and I thought Dorticos was shot. Like I fired a missile on Ramirez in that fight, and Dorticos he did pretty good in that fight. But yeah, Zurdo's a really good. And he's a Mexican, but I think he's one of the better Mexican boxers as far as like a style. A lot of Mexicans got that come forward style. I think he's a very good boxer. He knows how to judge distance very well and stuff like that. And it's just like styles make fights, and this fight I just don't see it favoring Zurdo that well. The only way I see him, or anybody for that matter, beating Benavidez is a guy like when Benavidez fought Demetrius Andrade. I honestly thought like the two guys that had the best chance to beat David Benavidez were Caleb Plant and Demetrius Andrade. And that's just because they can stick and move on the outside and win rounds. Can they survive? And the answer was, yeah, they can survive. I know the Plant went to a decision and stuff like that, but Plant was getting beat up bad, and Benavidez wore him down. That pressure, and also those guys didn't have the power to hurt him. Now, I don't see Zurdo as a better boxer than either one of those guys as far as being able to outpoint people, but Zurdo does have a lot more power than probably both those guys put together. So he may have the power to keep Benavidez off for a while and win some rounds. But I don't think Zurdo has the greatest footwork, especially up at this weight class. I see him as kind of like a flat-footed guy, and I just don't think that works out against a guy like Benavidez. And I'm not trying to take anything away from Zurdo, but I think this is a very favorable matchup for Benavidez. A lot of people are saying this is a 50-50 fight. Like, I do not see it that way. And a lot of that has to do with just like until somebody proves me wrong about, until my eyes prove me wrong about David Benavidez, I'm just not betting against him. We've seen the worst of Zurdo. We've seen what could happen to Zurdo. I don't know that what happened to Zurdo against Bivol could happen to Benavidez. And yeah, I just think Benavidez's pressure is going to be too much. Benavidez doesn't have good footwork either. Benavidez is there to be hit a lot, but his pressure is so much. And now he doesn't have to really cut weight. He's going to have a lot of energy. He's going to be stronger. And David Benavidez hits hard. I know he doesn't have a lot of one punch knockouts, but you can see in that Caleb Plant fight, he hurt Caleb Plant with a body shot mid fight, sixth round or something like that. And right from there, like you could see, like, yeah, maybe Benavidez didn't get the knockout. He didn't get the knockout because Caleb Plant was running for his life the rest of the fight. And you don't have to go for knockouts. Like sometimes when a guy like Benavidez doesn't knock out somebody, people will say that was a bad performance. Like the David Morrell performance, I was ecstatic about his performance against David Morrell. And then I go on, watch a few YouTube videos, and everyone's like, see, Benavidez isn't that dominant. He couldn't knock out David Morrell or whatever. Like he won a somewhat kind of competitive first half of the fight, but the rest of the fight he kind of dominated. And he's just you don't need to go knock guys out, especially at this point in his career. You just need to win fights. And he's an exciting enough fighter where you don't have to get knockouts. So, get up on the cards, don't do anything stupid, or just I think Benavidez's game plan a lot is like let the guy wear himself out for the first half of the fight, because when Caleb Plant was winning rounds against David Benavidez, he had to work a lot harder to win the rounds that he did than Benavidez had to work to win the rounds he did. So yeah, I just like David Benavidez in this fight. Like I said, Zurdo, if he had better footwork, which it's cruiserweight. No one has footwork in the cruiserweight division. Chris Billum Smith, are you kidding me? Like guys like that, they don't have footwork, so they're not going to be able to stay away from a guy like Benavidez. So at some point, you're going to have to get into that firefight, or I just see Zurdo kind of just being against the ropes at time and not being able to get himself off, and Benavidez just kind of hammering away. I don't know that he'll get the stoppage. I'm gonna pick David Benavidez by decision in this fight or late KO, but I'm gonna stick with a decision here. And I would say like an 8-4 decision or something like that, but it'll be pretty convincing. And I got really lucky on the odds on this fight because I've been betting David Benavidez for the last probably like 3 weeks. I've been putting him on the end of a lot of my parlays, and I got him at minus 350 for the fight. So now I have him. I have him as the last leg on like literally 15 to 20 parlays, and so I'm obviously going to hedge the other way. But I caught what's called it's an arbitrary bet, and arbitrary bet is like David Benavidez. I got him at minus 350. Now I need to hedge the other way. Well, now Gilbert Ramirez is at least plus 400 right now. So I got one guy at minus 350 on a bunch of parlays, and then I got the other guy that I need to hedge at plus 400. So do the math. Minus 350 and plus 400, that means you win either way. So I'm gonna have to crunch the numbers in my head to see how much I have to hedge on Gilberto Ramirez. But I think I'm gonna wait like up until fight time because I think those odds are gonna go up. I think people are gonna bet Benavidez. Like people might say there's value in betting Ramirez, which I don't blame him. I'm not a value better. I don't care. Like I'm not going to sit there and watch that fight and root for Zurdo to win when I really think Benavidez is going to win. So just take Benavidez. Like minus 350 is not a bad price. He's up to like minus 700 now. I don't know if that's that great of a price, but I would still bet him at minus 700. It's just because of it's David Benavidez. Like if it was David Morrell or something like that, I honestly think David Morrell might be able to beat Zurdo too. But yeah, that's just my pick. And I'll just throw in a quick pick for the undercard. The Jaime Munguia fight. I think it's still on. I don't know. I heard something about they might cancel that fight, but I like Jaime Munguia a lot in that fight as well. These guys that get these um upset of the years and stuff like that. Usually they get put in tough, and I just don't think that guy's on the level as Jaime Munguia. I know people don't rate Munguia that high, but Munguia is a very good offensive fighter with a lot of volume. That's not the same fighter that Caleb Plant is. And Caleb Plant, I honestly think is just kind of shot, and he might have been kind of overrated his whole career. And to be honest, I've always put Munguia as a better fighter than Caleb Plant, anyways. And I think if both of them fought, I'd give anybody 3-4 to 1 odds on Munguia in that fight. But I like Munguia, and I like the odds minus 190 or whatever it is. I think that's actually going to go down before the fights because not many people like Munguia, but because of the whole drug cheat thing and stuff like that. But yeah, I'll go with Munguia by decision or maybe late stoppage. There, he might be able to volume the shit out of that Resendez guy, and and get a late stoppage or something like that. But like, I'm not putting my money on that Resendez guy. Like, if I was going to bet the guy, I should have bet him against Caleb Plant when he was like plus 650. I'm not going to bet him at plus, 145 against a guy that I think is better than Caleb Plant. So, yeah, just give me Benavidez, Munguia, and it's gonna be a good day of fights. You got the freaking Inoue fight. I think it's the Inoue fight early in the morning, and then you got the Kona Walker versus Sam Eggington card is halfway decent. It's one of those typical UK cards on a Saturday during the day here in the States, and it's gonna be a great day of boxing. I didn't go out to Vegas for this fight, but my family lives out there, so they're all gonna be at the weigh-ins and stuff like that, and should be a nice atmosphere. It's a good little PBC card they put together. So I don't know what else to say. Just enjoy the fights, guys, and have a good day.